Hey.
What's up, Dr. Tiff?
Not much. How's it going, Coach Val?
Oh, it's going pretty good today. How about you?
Another Tuesday. So glad to be here with you, everybody watching. I hope that everybody knows by now that you should be ready to click live on all of our social media right at 9 o'clock because we do not play. Like 9 o'clock is the time. We don't do a lot of huff and puff. We have 30 minutes together every week. And so we get in, start on time so that we could fill all of our time with really good information. So if you've been joining late, I would recommend you join on time next time.
Set an alarm. Same thing we tell our kids to do.
That's
Get
right.
online on time.
That is right. So thank you to everybody joining us tonight. Go ahead and press the like button for us. Share this with somebody who you think would benefit from it. And also, if you're on YouTube watching us or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please subscribe so we know that we have some valued listeners out there. We appreciate it. So tonight we have been dropping little nuggets throughout these past episodes about Val's new gig. We mentioned a few weeks ago she's no longer in the classroom. She's not particularly sad about it. There's some aspects she misses about it, but this new gig is just allowing her to really spread her wings and soar and share her gifts with teachers, educators in our great state of Georgia. So with that, I'm going to open it up and ask you, Val, to just first tell us what the new job is and then kind of backtrack and tell us what led up to this.
Sure. So, officially, I am the Southeast Region Georgia Public Broadcast Outreach Specialist.
Say that again.
Southeast Region Georgia Public Broadcasting Outreach Specialist. Yes.
I love it. So you're working with
it sounds real like official. So,
yeah.
But like really though, it's a long title for saying my job is to help teachers with absolutely free resources from Georgia Public Broadcasting, GPB. And I get to travel all over my region in the southeast portion of the state. And so on a daily basis, like I'm reaching out to schools. I'm also reaching out to community partners for partnership with GPB just to spread the wealth of media resources that are free. Like I can't even not emphasize that enough. Absolutely. If you need me to come to your school to tell you how to use it, how to implement it, where would it fit best in your lesson plan with your kids, K through 12, I come for free. Your school has to pay nothing. Free.
Zero. I love that. Because schools, we've talked about on here before, budget. Schools and their budgets determine a lot of decisions that they make. And we've all been a part of those workshops at school on our teacher work days where the district has invited somebody in, paid them very good money to come and speak for a half day or a full day workshop to tell things to teachers, to educate teachers on things that they probably already know, or the speakers are speaking about some curriculum that isn't even part of that district's curriculum yet. And now Georgia Public Broadcasting is utilizing the talent of teachers like yourself to go out and talk to teachers, because I always think like-minded people learn so much more from each other. So like you as a teacher having that classroom experience makes you relate to what the teachers are going through as they're implementing what you're teaching them about so much more. Awesome. I love that. Love it. I love it.
And it's so funny. I think I know what you're about to ask me. Like, when did this come about? Yeah. And what's funny is like most people who know me, they know that I've been looking for something outside of the classroom. But even though I entertained stuff that wasn't in a school system, like my preference was to be in a school system, to be an academic coach where I could help the teacher within the building on a regular basis. That wasn't happening. So, you're not getting what you want. You start extending your filters and things. Well, a mutual friend of ours uh, talked to us about an opportunity where GPB was going to get a cohort of teachers together. It's called Student Voices Collective. And the whole purpose is to give kids an opportunity to get their voice and get their message out to the world through Georgia Public Broadcasting, through PBS, Public Broadcasting System, like huge. Only 40 teachers were selected. So me, our friend, and Tiffany, we all got a chance to go to GPB Studios and like just see all the different things that they provide out of that studio. It was amazing.
It was.
Yeah. And then they showed us a map of where everybody was in the state that was part of the collective, all the 40 people. And I was the only one, I think there maybe were 2 others out of the 40 in the bottom half of the state. And that just did not sit well with me. Our friend lives in Atlanta. Tiffany lives in the Atlanta area. Like most of the people are in that area. So here I go being Valerie, like I usually am, asking questions. And I asked the people, why is this? I'm just curious because, I'm pretty in the know for the most part about education happenings. I had no idea this was going on. Needless to say, not only did they answer my question, but they also said that they were in search of someone to represent my area. So,
and let me just pause right there, because for those who don't know Val personally, when she sees the door crack open just a little bit, she keeps it all the way open and steps right through it. She does not just like, oh, okay, that sounds nice. No. She capitalizes on the moment in all moments. That's one thing that I really love about you, and I try to get some of that for myself from you, but you take advantage of the opportunities, because I remember being there at Georgia Public Broadcasting for the collective, and you were chatting it up. The 3 of us came together, but we didn't sit near, like right next to each other. And, I talked to my group, and you were talking to your group, but you were over there making moves. Like you were like, I'm leaving here today with a new opportunity.
Yeah, but like friends like you have to tell me that about myself. I know I did go to that specific event with intentions of just kind of finding out more. I wasn't job seeking, but I was very open to anything, right? And that's part of what you have to do is be open. But I just feel like I don't know, maybe not even say it. You're right. When I see a crack, if I think it's God's crack, then I'm going in that bad boy.
So how do you feel? I think it's great that now you're going to be able to serve the lower part of the state, because for those who aren't familiar with Georgia, like after you get past Atlanta, like a little bit south, Warner Robins, Macon area, it becomes very rural down there, and sometimes the same resources, just like in any state, they don't come down that far. Because from Atlanta to you is what, about 4 hours?
Yeah, about 3.5.
Yeah, so for someone who lives in this Atlanta area to drive all the way out through this program, that could be a lot. And then you're right there. You already have a pulse on what the districts are already providing, what they could benefit from, and so what better person to be in this role in that region. So do you have any regrets or qualms about leaving the classroom? How are you feeling this time of the school year not being in the classroom?
So I am not going to sit here and act like I am just absolutely overjoyed. It did come with some feelings of missing out, some feelings of loss. Like, I'm able to create, for the most part, my own schedule. I've never been able to do that within a classroom teacher job situation. So there have been some adjustments that I've had to make that I can't say has been absolutely great. I do miss the interaction with the students, which is one reason why I decided to be a substitute. So I can kind of stay close to the ground with the students. I've done 2 of those jobs already. Once a week is my max. But for the most part, I'm excited. I'm still excited. And this is going since October 1st that I've been in this position, and I'm still excited about the position. I even had like a couple of opportunities to go ahead and travel to different places into a couple of schools. So it's definitely what a lot of what I thought it would be. There's not a whole lot about the position, and nothing's perfect by any means, but there's not a whole lot that I could even complain about if I, want to say, well, what can I complain about? There's not a lot of that. So I'm really enjoying this transition.
I love it. So you said you're going to be helping teachers through GPB, Georgia Public Broadcasting, for everybody who might just be joining us. So when you say helping teachers, can you share a little bit more specifically, like what that could look like in the schools that you go into?
Oh yeah, sure. So most people in the education world, when we say PD, professional development, you have an idea of what that looks like. Usually they're taking some time away from you that you don't want to be taken in that process during the school day, during your planning, before school starts or post planning. So it looks different depending on the need of the school. So for example, if there is a new teacher, this is the area that I really want to kind of be known for in my region. But if there's a new teacher who needs some more classroom support, one-on-one support, they're trying to figure out how to create their lessons. They're trying to figure out how to get their students engaged in the content they're trying to teach them. They're trying to figure out classroom management, which engagement plays a big part in the struggles you have with classroom management. So I could potentially connect with that school, and they could connect me with that teacher, and I could be the one to meet with that teacher on a more mentoring, coaching level through my position with GPB. And the system doesn't have to pay for it.
I love that. I love that because so many new teachers, you did your student teaching. I've been in classrooms with student teachers, and it's an experience, but I don't know how much of the real deal you get as a student teacher to the point where you're ready to fly on your own. And I know you still have, your mentor that you can ask questions to, whatever, but that classroom management piece, building the community in the classroom, which we talked about on here before, we had a 2-part series on that. So now you're being able to take your knowledge, your expertise, your experience, and almost like mold and shape these new teachers to hopefully give them longevity in the field, because we know teachers are leaving the workspace.
They're leaving even faster. Like a few years ago, you could say, well, the average new teacher to education within the first 5 to 7 years, most of them don't make it. A lot of them don't make it. Well, now, it's even less than that. It's more like 3 to 4 years, and they're out the door. So like, that's just one way that's dear to my heart that I could utilize myself in this position. But there's also, if a group of social studies teachers, 8th grade, that's one place where there's not a lot of resources or textbooks for teachers to pull from. So they're spending a lot of time during their planning trying to research. Well, GPB has a whole online textbook for you that is aligned to Georgia's state standards because we are for Georgia. So they have the media already pulled. They have the lesson plans already outlined for you. They have all the additional resources, homework, worksheets, like whatever you would need for your lessons, they have it all laid out for you. So I could come into a school and I can meet with all the 8th grade middle school teachers and I can take them through that resource and then also provide extra PD along the year, just in case they need anything.
I love that because so many times I think teachers are left feeling like they are doing things from scratch, like starting with a clean slate. And so to hear that GPB has these resources that are free and accessible is huge. So I wonder if a part of your new role will be just educating school districts and teachers on what is available, because I'm not really sure. So when you were a teacher, did you know GPB offered all of these resources?
No, not at all. And listen, most of my career has been in South Georgia. So the highest north I went was Bibb County. That was only a year. And then beyond that, it was Warner Robins area. And I've been in the South ever since. And so the reason why I'm so passionate about the 8th grade social studies, because I had to spend a year teaching it that I didn't want to spend. And I did not know about this. And if I had, who knows, how well my students actually could have done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I did not.
So that's another great way I think you can be such an asset to this role, is because you were the teacher who wasn't aware of these resources. And now you can go to the program leaders, directors to say, hey, I was in the classroom for X number of years and I never knew anything about it. We need to focus on educating districts that these resources are available. And then ways that would resonate with teachers and with principals, admin, to get these resources to them for them to use. I think that's awesome.
Oh my gosh, yes. And when you have like sales reps and those kind of people come into your space, it's almost like, what are they trying to convince me of now? And I felt like a lot of people in those positions, well, I'll say it this way. What I bring to this position is my authentic enthusiasm for what I'm showing the teachers is available for them. And I think that just that fits my personality. If it wasn't, I'd be having a rough time right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. No, your personality is a perfect fit. So you talked about helping new teachers, also middle school social studies teachers. Do you have any other professional development ideas? Because with this program, you're able to develop all of these workshops, PDs that's in your wheelhouse at your discretion, right?
It really is like an open door to that door was kicked all the way open with this. The way it was described to me in my training and talking with my manager is like they want my creativity. The purpose is, like you said, to get this information to people who need it and can use it. And so as long as that is the intent of what's happening, I mentioned community partners a few minutes ago. There's a push for us even to like be more intentional about connecting with them and leadership in the community as well. So again, if you know me, telling me that is like just opening a whole can of worms. And that's what my mind has been doing since I started. It has been just going. And I can say right now, I'm on a mission to increase the numeracy and literacy for our early education kids, because in Georgia, it is way lower than it needs to be, particularly our literacy. So part of what I want to do and give out of this position is to be an impact in those two spaces.
I love that. Oh, I love the early childhood education,
I
literacy.
know, I know.
I love it. So if you're listening now, you're a teacher, you have teacher friends. Um, I think Val would be open to hearing some suggestions on what are some PD ideas that you have. What are some things, some skills that you want to build up in yourself? Some new resource, new curriculum that maybe you've heard about and you want to know more about so that you can potentially implement it into your classroom. So please drop us a line in the chat right now if there's a topic area, something general, or if it's very specific. I think that could be helpful to you as you plan out your professional developments for this school year. So I know you want to have an impact on educators. We talked a lot here about administrators and how getting them on board is they're kind of like the gatekeepers. If they squash it, it's probably not going to even make it to the teachers at all. So how do you think you'll go about kind of getting access to the gatekeepers and then also helping maybe just open their minds to the possibilities of the topics that you're going to address in your professional development?
Well, one of the first things that we always mention is funding, like you said. So if there's something out there that is helpful for your teachers and it's free, I feel that that's something worth, at least taking a look at least being open to hearing about or listening to, especially from the administrator side, because you do want to be careful about what you are giving access to your teachers. Like I said, a lot of leaders do know that teachers' time is precious, even though we complain about it a lot. I have talked to administrators who that's very important to them, is preserving teachers' time with the students and in their planning. So it makes sense for a good leader to be, cautious with that. But after you realize, like, this is not going to cost anything, let's see if it's worth the teacher's time, then setting up calls with them, setting up meetings with them is definitely a way. But one thing that we have been doing is traveling to conferences. Administrators go to a lot of conferences and meetings throughout the year. I had no idea. They do so much. And so the conferences that are in my region, I'm responsible for putting in proposals and making sure that GPB is represented there. So we we do breakout sessions at those conferences, or we do exhibit tables, and we put ourselves out there to make sure we come in contact with the leaders so that we can talk to them and tell them about it.
I love that. And yes, administrators do go to a lot of conferences.
Yes, they do.
And they're getting their ears filled with vendors, other speakers, people who are wanting to get access to them too. And I really think that what sets you apart, like you mentioned, number one, your resource is free. It is of no cost to them. It's valuable because you are a teacher from that region. So now you're able to relate to the hardships, the challenges, the successes that the region has experienced over the past 19 years that you've been teaching. And so I think that will set you apart, because I know from just my own career experience how companies that I've worked for go above and beyond. They're treating them to lunch and learns. They want to take them out for drinks after the conference. They schmooze. That's what we do. We schmooze to get you loosened up so you can say, oh, I think that might work. And for you, you don't really have to do that, because the only investment that you're asking them to make is their time. Professional development days are already identified on every public school's calendar for their teachers. And so then you have a nice, I think, easier access point than some of the vendors. And it's all aligned. Like you just mentioned, that social studies curriculum is aligned with the Georgia standards, which we know that's like the gospel to all public schools. Right. That is what you want to be in alignment with, because you want your students to do well on standardized tests. You want to show student growth. So I think you'll have so much success. Is there anything that you're nervous about in this new role?
So I was nervous about how would I transition. So just the unknown of what skills is this going to take from me? How much time am I going to have to put in like learning some new things? Because I was very comfortable as a classroom teacher in education. That's why I was trying to like figure out how to get out of the classroom, because when I get comfortable, I get bored. And so I also, when I get bored, I get lazy and my procrastination starts setting in, and I don't want to go down that road. So so with the new opportunity, I was like, this is great. This is going to get me out of my rut. But it also made me realize, well, how deep in this rut am I? Like, how much is it going to take to actually get out of it? So that was one thing. And then the other thing was, how am I going to get along with my new team members and my new leadership in my new position? So unfortunately, I can't say that I got along with all of the administrators that I've worked up under. I am a little different, and I'm an out of the box thinker. And I'm an analyst, and I have questions about things. Like, just because it's something that has always been done, it doesn't mean that that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to ask you, like, why? And, most people who are not comfortable in themselves, I'll go ahead and say, don't like to be asked why. They take it as a personal attack. So all of that, I was like, well, let's see how this is going to go. And I have been overly surprised at how well I'm getting along with my people.
I love it. So Southeast Georgia, get ready. South Georgia, get ready. All the public schools there, teachers, because Val is going to come in and expand your minds, expand your horizons for sure. I think it's such a great role. I think you fit into it perfectly. And I know when our friend asked us about this collective that we went to over the summer, there you had to be selected. So you had to explain why you even were a good fit for that. So for you to take that, turn it into a new job opportunity that's gotten you out of the classroom, because while you were an amazing middle school math teacher, which I always, give you praises for because that's hard. I think this will give you the room to just blossom even more and share your gifts and talents in a way that has such a direct impact on the profession that you've chosen to be a part of for almost 20 years. So I think that's excellent. Do you have any final thoughts for us?
Okay, so the funny person in me was like, giving honor to God, who's the head of it. Like, as I'm about to step up and approach some remarks or something. But no, I do. Because I just feel like I haven't had it yet, but I feel like there's going to come a time when I get asked, like, would I suggest or encourage young people or anybody to step into the education profession or become a teacher or something like that. And, if I say yes, then why is that when I've chosen to step out of my position? And so to that, I want to say that I wholeheartedly believe in education. I wholeheartedly believe that the public school system has the potential to be what our young people need to help them become successful adults and citizens of our society. I do know from experience that just because something has potential doesn't mean that that potential is being fulfilled, or that the people inside that space are doing what needs to be done for that. It doesn't take away from the potential. So what I believe education needs is people who are actually passionate about educating young people, and not just people who education is the only thing left for them to do. And I feel like we have too many of the latter in the profession now, which is a lot of the reason why it is what it is.
Very true.
Yeah.
I hope that as well, because I do feel like you just said, like, we're getting people who are just like, well, I guess I'll go teach. And working with kids on such a personal level, day to day, you're not just teaching. You are a coach, you are a mentor, you are a counselor, you are friend, you are parent liaison. You're so many things in that role. And if you're not prepared for that, then you'll exit the field very, very quickly, for sure. Well, congratulations again on your new role. We will definitely have more episodes coming up as you enter into the schools. I want to know what the feedback is from teachers when you go out. I think that their minds are going to be blown. I think that districts are going to be clamoring to have you come to their school because you are such a relatable, authentic, experienced, and knowledgeable person. And this is just like the perfect role for you. So I love it. I love this for you.
Thank you, friend.
I celebrate you. I hope those watching us tonight celebrate Val in the comments as well. And we will definitely continue checking in to see how this all pans out. So thank you all for joining us tonight. That's our episode. We will see you all next week with another Tuesday Talk. Bye.
Bye.